Sullivan King. The support is awesome. It's a wild lineup. You're also going to get the signed Avenged Sevenfold set list, courtesy of Warner Records. So if you're a collector, something in there for you. The show is Saturday, March 9th at the Romo Fijo, just a few weeks away. RocketMortgageFieldhouse.com for all the details. Want to go see Avenged Sevenfold? Call 10. These tickets are yours. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The Alan Cox Show.
Sure, you could listen to another show, but then how would you find the puppies we've buried in boxes around the city? 100.7 WMMS.
Got hot celebrity goss with Perez Bilton in a few minutes. No Cavs basketball tonight. They are on the backside of All-Star Weekend. They will be back here at home, however, on Thursday night. Day after tomorrow, the Cavs will be here to host the Orlando Magic for a 7 o'clock tip-off as we get into the waning days of the regular season. Only about a month and a half left of Cavaliers basketball. So Cavs Magic. They just retired Shaq's jersey, by the way. Shaq said the only guy who was never afraid of him was Tim Duncan. So the only guy that never changed his play when I was in the mix, said Tim Duncan was fearless. Of course, he went on to be the heir to a donut fortune. Cavs Magic, Thursday night, 7 o'clock on the Buzzard and on the iHeartRadio app, which is, was, and ever shall be free. I shouldn't say ever shall be.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else starts charging stuff, but
but we've always had ads. So.
At iHeartRadio app,
Yeah.
still free. The advertisements I've heard say that free never sounded so good. And so there you go. Alan WMMS, where kids sing about poop, pee, and cars. Yeah, listen, and they all come together in just a melodious melange, if you will. Boy, people got some thoughts on Poundcake as a young boy. But you know, as much as we give him a hard time, everybody has a different kind of way that they grew up. My siblings and I didn't get into fights because we were terrified of my parents, and it was simple as that. But I got spanked a lot, and I was always trying to avoid that. My parents were big into spanking, and so I was always trying to sidestep that. I didn't want to do anything that was going to lead me down that path. But Poundcake's mom, you know, she was a single mom, working third shift, trying to sleep, and he was off the chain in that house. There was nothing she could do about it.
He's not potted up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is he talking?
I don't think I was off the chain.
Well, I mean, you were kind of unleashed in that house.
I was responding to being mistreated. People, I don't know why Bill can't attest to this. If you grow up in a household, there's going to be, like with a bunch of siblings, there's going to be hazing. And if you let the bigger sibling bully you, they're setting the groundwork for how it's going to be while they're there.
Right,
so,
but there's also peace that I would want too. So
sometimes there was peace.
I went more people pleaser route because I didn't like, because my two older brothers fought so much that I would be more of a peacemaker trying to like.
Okay, but what did they fight over?
Everything.
One was trying to bully the other, probably.
I don't know. They fought about lots of stuff.
One wanted to be alpha, and my brother was the oldest, so he thought that automatically made him alpha. I didn't claim to be alpha. I just didn't want to be bullied, and that's mainly what it was.
So your contention is not that your contention is that you were reactive, whereas he was proactive.
Also, I will throw in,
he wasn't doing what he was doing because you were such a pain in the ass.
I will throw in that there were times because I was young and I was going through things, and my mom felt guilty that I didn't have many friends growing up. she would intentionally, I was the little brother that had to tag along with the big brother to like events and stuff. So if my brother wanted to go.
He couldn't get away from you.
Right. So if my brother wanted to go to out by us, our skating rink was Country Skate Land, and they would have like an all-night skate. And that's where all the teams would go. If you were like 15 plus, you would go there and do like the all-night skate. It was from 7 to 7. And my mom's like, you can't go unless you take your brother with you. And if he was meeting a girl or something up there, no one wants their little brother there going around. I'm like, ooh, you just want to see that girl, blah, blah, blah. And he used to get mad at that. He's like, why I gotta take him everywhere? He needs to get some friends, blah, blah, blah. And and so that was he kind of like resented me because of that, because I was the little tag along, big mouth little brother. And I would tattletale. That is something I will totally take accountability for. If he was doing something, if he was like making out with a girl or something back in high school,
You couldn't just be cool about it?
No, I couldn't be cool about it. I'm taking accountability for that. That was me. So he was like, I'm not telling you stuff. I'm not hanging out with you because you're lame and you snitch. And I was like, I do snitch.
Wow, you do snitch.
I do snitch. So then once I got my own friends, then it just became like a alpha issue. Then he was like, you're around the house, you're not about to boss me around. You're not about to push me around. And that's what it was. I think in some ways he was embarrassing me at times because I would get teased a lot, but I took it well. Like, I always had a high-pitched voice. I always walked funny, and I was always like the butt of every joke. And I think he just got tired of defending me. But he didn't realize that I did not care. Like, I got roasted for the still to this day, when people see me from my hometown, they remind me of the bus picking me up, and I thought I was so cool wearing blue Timberlands with a green tracksuit, and I never lived it down. Till this day,
Right.
My brother's friends
You
will
show
see
up. Poundcake immediately deflated when he gets back to Oberlin. He's like, yeah, I'm Poundcake. And they're like, hey, it's blue Timberlands and green tracksuit guy.
They never, ever forgot it. Till this
Well, it keeps
day.
you humble. Keeps you grounded. That's good.
I remember the last time my brother
People
had...
who knew you when.
Yeah. That whole little area, that neighborhood that I lived in, that whole bus, I rode bus 8. They were like, ah! I was like, what? I was sporting my new shoes. And they're like, you don't know how to match. Like, it taught me how to match, because if you didn't want to get roasted, you had to learn how to match.
Yeah, those aren't exactly complementary colors. I mean, they're.
Well, I didn't have anything to match with the blue Timberlands. What do you have to match with blue Timberlands?
I know. I guess it depends on the shade of green.
Those suede blue Timberlands. I have to look at them.
Should have blue shoes, green pants, yellow jacket.
It was a green jersey.
Yeah.
With green, like military green jersey.
Yeah. Army green.
And Army green, and then blue Timberlands. I'm looking at them now, and it says 50th anniversary. Like, I'm like, oh. Yeah, and they were like blue. And never lived them down.
Well, yeah, we've probably all got something like that way back in our CV. Are we ready for his hot celebrity goss?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hot celebrity gossip.
This is Hot Celebrity Gossip with Perez, Bilton. Ooh.
Okay, there it is. How are all my little baby goss guzzlers doing? They're ready for some hot stick of goss, and I got some good stuff for you today. Starting things off, John Schneider. You guys remember John Schneider?
Oh, yeah.
He's from Dukes of Hazzard and Smallville, and he's released a bunch of music as well. Well, he was on a show talking about Beyonce releasing a country album, and this is what he had to say.
They've got to make their mark, just like a dog in a dog walk park. You know, every dog has to mark every tree, right? So that's what's going on here. Shania and the other folks you talked about, what they did is they were in country music and they went out. That's one thing. But people coming into country music have because I know a little something about country music.
So John Schneider's a little upset that Beyonce is coming into country music. And according to Inside Sources, John doesn't think he's being racist. He just thinks genres should be segregated. Oh, wait, he's absolutely being racist.
Oh, yeah. Faux shiz, faux shiz.
That's a bummer. I met that guy. He was a nice dude.
Yeah, well, you were white.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep things going with Sly Stallone was talking about all the stunts he did in movies over the years on his show, The Family Stallone, and he said that he's had 7 major surgeries to repair injuries from all his stunt work. And according to inside sources, we have some of the intense recovery that he had to go through in order to get back in shape.
Oh, it's too good. Oh, that is intense, boy.
Yeah, I can see why he didn't want to keep doing that.
Yep.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And finally, Madam Web was a huge bomb this weekend at the box office, and the star Dakota Johnson said she's not worried about it being a big box office bomb. She's on vacation, enjoying her life with her boyfriend. But according to inside sources, behind the scenes, she was a little bit more upset. She went off on everyone that worked for her, her agent, her manager, her assistants. Everybody caught her fury, and we have video of that.
Bless America.
This is Hot Celebrity Gossip with Perez, Bilton. Ooh.
Oh, who knew that Dakota Johnson had such a temper? Oh, my goodness.
She was not holding back.
She was
It
not.
seems like a little bit of an overreaction. I mean, nobody expected that movie to do that well.
You gotta wonder what they were thinking. I know, it's a goof by now to say, well, these companies have all this intellectual property, and so they've got to do something with it. And they keep trying to put the paddles on the Sony, Marvel movies and get them going. But this Madam Web, Jesus Christ. I mean,
nobody wanted it. Nobody cared.
Nobody remembers that. The character in the comic book was like a 90-year-old blind woman.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I know nothing about it. I do know Sydney Sweeney's in it. And
she's cute.
Gorgeous.
And the girl from Cleveland, that Isabella Merced. She's the one that played Dora the Explorer in the live action. She's in that. She's from Westlake or something, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't even think those girls.
They're just like, hey, we'll take the check. I feel like.
Well, but in the movie, I don't think they even show them in the costumes. Those characters are supposed to be like future iterations of Spider-Woman.
Yeah, I don't
know.
I have no idea.
I don't even think I would watch that on streaming. Yeah. Madam Web. Oh, Mitchell and Webb I would watch. Love that. Alan, did you happen to see the guy in Texas who got caught in the antique store putting stuff up his ass?
Excuse me?
I did see this. So there's an antique store in Texas, and there's a guy that they got on security camera who's walking around in a kilt. And he's taking stuff off the shelves and putting it under his kilt and then putting it back on the shelf. This woman's like, I'm just trying to run an antique store. You know what the margins are here? It's just the people who come in here are antiques. I don't know how any of these places, they must have huge online components these days. I don't know how any of these places stay open. These antique places.
Oh, people love them.
They do, but it's usually like, antique
usually
flea mall on Saturday morning or something.
And usually there's enough people that go there, and it's in a place where like they have real low rent, and so you just leave your stuff there. It's kind of like a consignment shop, and you go and collect your money every couple weeks.
Yeah. This is in Spring, Texas. I have a buddy that lives in Spring. This is suburban Houston. And KPRC was on the case to talk about this disturbing discovery there.
Was really in shock. I just didn't know what to say or think. Right now at 6, a bizarre story at a local antique gallery. A man wearing a kilt is caught on surveillance video placing antique items under his kilt, then putting them back on the shelves. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Keith Garvin.
And I'm Candace Burns. Daniela Guzman.
Is that Hughes of the Garvins?
I think it is.
That guy?
Just live from there with what she's learned about this incident. Corley.
No,
Huh?
Yeah.
wait. Hughes the Garvin's the girl.
Oh, Hughes of the Garvins is the girl?
Yeah.
What's the guy?
Well, a very, very
No, she's
heavy,
Bertations.
Bertation tonight.
He's Hughes of the Garvins.
Oh, okay.
How the no land remerges RN while the university or the UN mission as whole received support from all parties in the hues of the Garvins of today. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Hughes of the Garvins. Yep. Corley Peel is the reporter with KPR. That makes a delicious addition to any drink, by the way. Put a little Corley Peel in it.
Cameras capture this man in a kilt, looking around an antique booth. He grabs an item off a shelf. He's then seen walking behind a bird cage. He appears to put the item under his kilt before putting it back on a shelf.
Number one, I was disgusted.
Susan Golden is the manager at Antique Gallery. She says the bizarre incident happened on Thursday.
So how did you find out about what he was doing?
That night.
Well, I have eyes, Corley, and I looked at the security cam.
Everything had a different old smell to it. Like usually everything in here smells kind of bad, but it's like a musty smell. And this was more pungent.
I'm used to the must.
Yeah.
But I'm not used to the dust that was on it.
Number one, I was disgusted. That night, one of the dealers sent me a video that she had from a camera in her own booth. I think they've been in here before. The employees recognized them and said they were just, the guy was really nice and she was nice, and they just shopped around for a few hours.
What did they do with those products?
They threw them away mostly.
Mostly. Oh, see, now you got to go into this place wondering which ones got inserted but not thrown away. Because she didn't want to cop to that. Oh, so what did they do? They mostly threw them away?
Mostly, but some of them are very,
a couple really had sentimental value.
Yeah.
Mitchell Vest was the person he identified in there. Ironic. Guy named Vest wearing a kilt. And, he was arrested and charged with what? I don't know. Abuse of a corpse? Antique defilement? Don't know. Breaking and entering? I don't know what they charge him with. But
budding and entering.
Yeah. I got a break here. Want to send a text?